are Sarájanée and Annacrizelda, and this is Everything and No Less, the podcast where your favorite long-distance best friends talk about everything from women's sports to Marvel movies to the things we love, hate, and everything in between. Welcome.
Hey y'all. Guess what?
It's Remember the Titans week.
Finally, I'm so excited. I love this movie.
Oh my gosh, it's been a long time coming. I actually think we made this podcast so that we could have this specific episode.
Little did we know. That was
Little
the
did we
whole
know.
point. Little did we know. Starting with our will we stand by it or not? Absolutely, for better or worse.
Absolutely.
Before we get into the movie, do want to throw out a quick disclaimer. If you are someone that thinks you can watch a movie too many times, you're probably wrong. I mean, you're most definitely wrong. But even if not, just go with the flow. We're gonna go with it. This is not what this episode is about. No such thing as too many times.
No such thing as too many times at all. We are rewatchers of movies. We love to watch movies over and over again. We love to talk about them. We love to watch them with the commercials when they're on television, even if there is a better version of them in 4K on a streaming app.
Because how do you define better, Anna? What does better mean? Right?
Better?
Is that just the quality of the stream or is it about the experience?
It's about the quality of the experience.
You know? That's what I think. Okay, Remember the Titans, a Disney film that is, let's see, when did it come out? 25 years ago, give or take? Or about to be? Are we on the 25th anniversary?
Is
that math correct?
On the 25th anniversary this year. So this movie was released September 23rd, 2000, which was my 10th birthday.
Annacrizelda Day to those of us who celebrate.
Also Remember the Titans Day. So it's only fitting, I feel like.
Very aligned, very meant to be. So yes, we were 10 when it came out. That feels like another lifetime. Mm-hmm. I need to look it up, but I feel like if we went to see it in the theaters, which I hope we did, it probably was Greenbrier Theater in Charlottesville, which Charlottesville folks will know used to be out on Seminole Trail. It was a smaller theater. If it was still open then probably was $2. Shout out to my cousins and my aunts, my mom. They used to give us bags of snacks. We took better snacks into the theater and had a great viewing experience. So that's how I'm imagining that I watched and was introduced to the world of the Titans, but there's a chance that chronology isn't quite right.
So I feel so we both grew up in Virginia. I feel like this movie was a huge deal because it was set in Virginia. Mm-hmm. I actually think the way I watched this was we had a field trip. We had a field trip to the movie theater to watch this movie because it was so important because we were kids in Virginia, and this movie is about kids in Virginia.
Telling the story of how Virginia solved racism via high school football.
Football solved racism. Actually, more specifically, Denzel Washington solved racism.
If anybody could, it would be him.
Anybody could.
I don't know that he would say that, but if anybody could, it'd be him. That would be a good poll, for our viewers, because our listeners, a good amount of them are from Virginia. Did you have a field trip to watch Remember the Titans? Now I want to know. We got to look that up. How were you introduced?
It was a huge deal.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. I remember there was big, a lot of talk about it.
Yeah, and you're right. I wonder if people who grew up were 10 in other places, if it was as a big of a deal, or if you were
even on their radar. Right.
Yeah.
I do wonder.
I also wonder, you and I think in the canon of our friendship, right? I think there are some things that are just they are just common and constant. Right. And I feel this movie, if you were to have a museum of our friendship, this movie would be playing on one of those screens, just in a loop. You know what
Definitely.
I'm talking about?
For sure. Absolutely. That's so true.
It's so true.
I just know at one point I had the DVD of it. It might maybe it was VHS, but I feel we had DVDs by then. If not, whatever form it has come out in, I have had it. DVD, possibly VHS, streaming. If you Freeform, whatever the television channel is, I have seen it. I have watched it. Disney Plus, I have just enjoyed it. This is definitely the comfort watch for me. Do you know how many times you've seen it? Could you estimate?
I mean, I feel like it has to be close to like 100 times. Like, I really feel like I've watched this movie over and over again.
I
Like,
think I sail past 100. Like if I was told it's many hundreds, right? Like if they did a study of my brain and were like, there's 3% that is dedicated to Remember the Titans, I would believe it. I would believe it. If someone could look back at my entertainment history and they told me you've watched Remember the Titans 1,000 times, I would be like, that seems high, but definitely feasible, right? Definitely feasible.
yeah. I just remember when I would go home from college, because we would go home from college like at like holiday breaks. And I feel like during Thanksgiving, TNT was always just playing this movie on a loop. And they would end it and then they would just restart it. And I
Yeah.
would just like watch it like over and over again. Like, I love it.
Same. And if not like back to back, then over a holiday break, it was playing every single day. Like it might be on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, Friday afternoon, but you knew you were going to get several days, several options to watch. Remember the Titans? It's one of those movies in my kind of immediate family that you can put on and everybody will just chill out, relax, whatever's going on. My brother might say he was forced to watch it, but I trouble that narrative, shall we say? I trouble that narrative.
It's really just, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Does it stand out for you as are you a common rewatcher? A little bit, you already said yes, or does Remember the Titans have like a special place as something that you can and will willfully rewatch?
I think both. I think both things. I think it's still on TV like a good amount, and I will still go and put it on. You know?
No, for sure. I think I'm a rewatcher too, and I know there's like psychology behind it, right? Like it's predictable. It's predictable. I mean, it's familiar, and so in times where there might be stressors or whatever, rewatching movies or shows like provide some comfort. It can be soothing. That is definitely my experience. I will say I think Remember the Titans is like my longest lasting rewatch. Like I've had other shows. I had a little Gilmore Girls phase, little Gossip Girls phase, the original Better or Worse, not that new one. That was awful. The first one we could argue is bad too, but in different ways. But like Remember the Titans is like a consistent over time. Like Remember the Titans and Living Single, I think they, even if they don't age well for me, they age well with me, if that makes sense. Or say I'm like riding it out. Definitely happy to put them on or find that they're on.
I love it. I know. I feel like it's been on way more often lately because, like, I feel like whenever I catch it on TV, I'll text you. I'll be like, "Remember the Titans is on."
Love that for me. I think so. Is that like the TV networks know people will tune in, or do they know that the people need comfort? So like soul soothing. I would love to see those analytics. Like
I need to see those numbers because I actually feel like there's two possibilities. It's that one is that there's hundreds of people like us. And the second is that it's literally only us.
I think that's also possible.
Like, I think that's very possible because I feel like I've tried to bring it up to people and they're like, "Oh, it's a good movie." I'm like, how are you not, like, obsessed with this movie?
Right.
And, like, trying to quote it with me.
Right. You don't feel like, or you haven't found major life lessons and quotables from this? What?
Yeah. You don't think about this movie all the time. This movie is my Roman Empire.
Yes, it is mine. 100%. 100%. Where's Wood Harris? Like, love you. How are you? I said it early in our like podcasting days. Wherever Wood Harris is, I hope he is having a great day. That is how much this movie means to me.
It's the best. The best.
It really is. Speaking of best, okay, let's get into it. Best friendships in the movie. There are several options, but what are your top friendships in the movie?
I mean, I think maybe the most obvious one, left side, strong side, Julius and Gary Bertier. Top tier friendship. Of course, we hate how it starts.
Little frenemies to besties energy.
Frenemies to besties. I mean, I was watching it yesterday, and that speech that Julius and Gary do after Gary's been in the accident, and Julius is standing in the hospital room. I swear to God, every time it gets me right here. I'm like,
it really does in the heart, and you can just see how much Julius is suffering, that his homie is suffering, right? Like it's so meaningful. Related question: Between Julius and Gary, who do you think would be more likely to admonish their friend for having clippers on their keychain?
Listen, I feel like Gary
I think it's
would.
Gary.
It's definitely Gary, okay? Because I
And then he
think,
comes to see that his friend was right. Like, dag, I
yeah,
had to do some reflecting. I had to live a little bit.
definitely Gary. Gary's not afraid to call people out. He kicked Ray the racist right off the
Right
team.
out.
Gotta go.
Right. Okay, for sure. So Gary and Julius are obvious number one, like besties. Who else do you have in contention though?
I mean, I think you gotta look at Coach Boone and Coach Yost, right?
Okay.
They start off as, I would say, actual enemies because Coach Boone takes his literal job um, for the best. But yeah, in the end, they're besties, holding that football up together at the end of the game.
Okay, like good example of work besties, I guess, right? Like they
Work
kind of know a little
besties.
bit about each other. They might not be together all the time, but they find a good workflow. Okay, play to each other's strengths. I can hear that.
Yeah, you're right. I think they are, especially when you compare them to Julius and Gary. Coach Boone and Coach Yost are like work besties. Okay, Julius and Gary are like actual besties,
Besties
right?
for the resties, for sure. They are all the way
Okay,
locked
they
in.
want to grow old and fat together
Yeah.
in the same neighborhood. That's deep. That's
It
like
is.
that's
Nothing comes between them,
nothing
right?
comes between. Coach Boone and Coach Yost, they're like, we'll live in separate neighborhoods. Like,
Right. And like we won the championship, we'll come back together, we'll say hey forever. We might bump into each other in the grocery store, maybe go out to lunch, but they're not calling each other up 10 years later, right? Like they
that's
just, hey, what you doing today? That's not their vibe.
it's not the
Their
vibe.
vibe. I am also big fans of Louis and the Rev. Like I really like Louis and the Rev's like friendship for sure. For sure.
Beautiful.
Like support, they see each other, they encourage each other. There's some vulnerability or like it's the perceived vulnerability between their friendship and the way that like Louis asks for help.
Moving on. So this movie is about how football solved racism, which
Virginia football solved racism.
Virginia football solved
High school
racism.
favorites.
A tale as old as time, you know. And there are many moments in this movie where the banner of racism is solved, is sort of waved in front of the audience. Many of these moments. Sarájanée, what is one of your favorite racism is solved moments in this movie?
I mean, left side, strong side in the night practice, where at first Julius is like, why is this man hitting me? And then he realizes, like, oh, he's giving me props. And, Gary is going out of his way to, like, kind of show that the defense is unified. And both assistant coaching staffs, like the white folks leading the defense and the black folks on the offensive end, they're like, hey, hold on, let's see how it plays out. And they all kind of realize, like, oh, something is changing. So the left side, strong side, that's one of them. I felt moved by that.
That's beautiful. The music is swelling and they're
Yes, the
screaming.
lights are low, right?
Oh.
Everybody's waiting and watching and seeing how these two leaders of the team are going to interact with each other,
Racism is solved.
Solved immediately. What about for you?
Well, one of mine is when Coach Boone makes them all run to to Gettysburg, and he gives that speech about how men died there, brother fighting brother, and how they must come together. And I think that the metaphor is a little
It's a reach.
it's a little muddled. It's a little
reach.
It's a reach. But it is this moment where the music is swelling. They're all looking out at the battlefield. They're like, oh my God, we have to come together despite racism.
If we don't, the hate will kill all of
The
us.
hate will kill all of us.
Which maybe is true, but I just wanted to be like, the hate is not the same on both sides, okay? The hate is not the same. Okay, historically speaking, were there brothers on both sides? Possibly, but like
Maybe. I mean,
it's like 1 degree of separation away from like very fine people on both sides, where you're like,
Yeah.
No, maybe not so fine.
Not so fine. And also, how did Coach Boo know how to run to Gettysburg?
In the middle of the
was
night?
in the middle of the night. Okay, this is the era before smartphones. No one had a smartphone yet. He just has like an internal compass. Like, has he done this run before? You know, like
He's just led by the spirit is just leading
led
him.
by the spirit of fighting
Maybe he's
racism.
following the North Star. I'm like, Harriet Tubman would never. That is not what the ancestors dream. Not at all. No, thank
Racism
you.
is solved.
Okay, another one that's actually like, is it the worst or the best? But when Julius is going into the like white suburb to go visit Gary, and we can tell by his body language he's nervous, and we all know about policing and black folks, right? And so the police officer rolls up, and then he just like, doesn't really acknowledge him as a human being. He's just like, heck of a game you boys played. First of all, I'm taller, probably stronger than you. Don't call me no boy. But anyways, tell that coach of yours to keep it up. I feel like that was another one of those moments. Like, look, the police officer is speaking to this young black athlete and giving him props. There's no issue with police brutality in the black community. Football fixed it.
That was wild. It was
Right.
just it was like the police car pulling up really slow.
Right.
And then he like cranked the window down. I'm like, no, 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 no. I know what you're trying to evoke, and it's
But
not
no,
working.
it's
It's
not
not going to
working.
work here.
Nah.
It's so bad.
Right.
Especially because it comes right after the moment where he says hello to the two white ladies, and they're like, ew,
Right.
not good.
Right. And just finest football or finest defense I've seen in 20 years. Well, who are you, sir? Why do we care what you think of the defense?
I
Okay?
can't.
I just can't deal.
Get this policeman
Can't
out of
deal.
here.
And because he's a great athlete, you'll respect him and speak to him. But if he was not, he needs to stay on the other side of town. What are we doing?
They tried to make us feel safe by playing that little upbeat song during that scene. I was like,
Did
I
it
do not
hurt?
feel safe.
I do. I feel very unnerved. I am concerned. Julius, get out of there. Julius, go
Run,
home.
Julius.
Where's your mom? We see Gary Bertier's mom in a little bit and had like how she's dealing with the friendship. And I'm like, nobody's worried about her. I want to know what Julius's mom said when he told her, I'm going over to visit Gary. Because I feel like she was like, boy, why? Why would you do that?
It's also messed up because like that scene comes after Gary wouldn't go down and play basketball with him.
Right.
And so now Julius has to go to Gary's neighborhood instead
Right.
to visit
Right.
with him.
Right.
It's one-sided.
It's so
don't like
one-sided.
it.
Oh, are we questioning this bestieship? Is it a... Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting note about
interesting.
reciprocity in the relationship.
Reciprocity.
Any other scenes that they were trying to tell us racism was solved? They
Oh,
really
I
had to
think-
do a lot to prove it. If they really was solved, they had to like really.
Yeah,
you know,
there's
they were
actually
bringing a-
there are actually so many of these scenes. It makes me feel like racism wasn't solved by high school Virginia football. It's weird. Okay, I think one of the most iconic scenes in the locker room when they're making the your mama jokes, and then they all start singing "Ain't No Mountain High Enough." Solved.
That's true.
Racism solved.
solved. I think it was in that moment that Ray knew that
Oh
he
my
was going to
God.
be a racist forever. That was the moment he was like, I'm a devout racist. Maybe I was going to be a moderate, but nah, I'm in it now.
He was like, "I gotta get to the Klan meeting."
Immediately, I'm calling
They're-
an emergency
They're
plan.
singing the Temptations together in the locker room. I have to go.
Have to get me out of
I
here.
have to go.
Get me out of here.
The
Like,
way he skedaddled out of there.
disgust, contempt, all up on his face and on his body. He was upset.
He was upset.
It was not okay.
Oh, Ray, it's okay.
This movie really could be like a sociological study on like the white male journey to racism. You know how they're doing all those like that research on teenage white boys and how they get like on the internet get pulled into
Get radicalized. Yeah.
like ultra conservative, ultra patriarchal. Like Ray is a part of that journey.
This is like the analog version of that journey.
There's opportunity and exposure for other perspectives, and Ray resists them, and Ray runs straight towards the radicalizers that are like, no, white men only, white men good, everybody else less, bad, you name it.
Yeah. No, Ray is. Whew. Any
Do we put?
other? Oh, go
Well, I was
ahead.
gonna ask, do we put the like? We are the
Oh
Titans,
my
mighty,
God.
mighty Titans. Where does that dance scene go?
I
Is that
love
like a
that
racism
scene.
solve? Me too. It's so good.
Racism is solved by that little dance they did. What makes me laugh about that scene is that they were like, in the locker room, they're like, Coach, we're going to warm up a little differently today. And they pull that out. I'm like, in what world does Coach Boone, who has been such a hard ass,
Right. Controlling perfectionist is like, go do
controlling,
your thing.
he's like, they're like, we're going to do a little dance instead. He's like, that is a great idea.
I just
Absolutely
feel as
not.
though, right, maybe if he thought he could trust them when he saw them doing that, he would have been like, absolutely not. Red, like, go throw the ball. Julius, get down and snap. Like, what are you doing? Start again.
Like
Are you kidding?
the man who throws up before every game because he's so nervous is not
Right.
going to let them do this little dance.
His whole family's livelihood is running on, like, riding on this season, right? They have one game and
Yeah,
he's out. And he sees them playing around dancing.
it's
Come on.
inconsistent.
It is. I
Though
mean, I
they
love
did,
it. Again,
yes,
I want it. It's great viewership, but it is not aligned with who we have seen or who we are
yeah,
told Coach Boone is and how he runs that team.
it's not. It did solve racism though, so for
It
that
did.
we must give it credit.
Yes, you're right. You're so so right. Whenever there's a another moment of tension, everybody just needs to get down in the "We are the Titans."
I like when they do like this thing. That is my favorite.
Right here, this real good. I love it. I do. I guess it makes me feel good. Yeah, so maybe that's solving something.
Maybe not racism, but
Maybe
it
not.
is solving.
But you know, it's like diminishing a little bit of discomfort and malaise or something. So
I love that racist coach of the other team. He's like, shut him up.
real hard. Like, what is wrong with you, sir? Get a grip. Yeah, I do love that get back scene too from Sun. Like he hurts Rev, and then Sunshine's like, "Let him through, let him through." Louis like, "Wait, what? No!" And then flips him over, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Unnecessary roughness on the quarterback. You kidding me?" See, I know all of the lines. I do
It's
love that
so
exchange.
good. I can
It's
like
very
see
good.
it in my mind as you're saying it. It's such a good scene.
Sit down.
Such a good scene.
Good. Very, very
Um,
good.
what about the scene when they win the state championships at the end and Coach Yost and Coach Boone are having a moment?
They have their moment.
They have their little moment. You were the right one for the job. You're a Hall
You're a
of
Hall of
Famer.
Famer in my book.
Solved.
Racism will be no more after that.
No
Obviously,
more.
right? Like that is the end. I don't know. Like you're not a Hall of Famer though, right? Like whatever benefits or perks come with being an actual Hall of
You're
Famer,
not.
is there a monetary value? He doesn't get it. It's also just not the same, perhaps, because Coach Yost really did act like Coach Boone wasn't fit for the job at the beginning, whereas Coach Boone didn't have anything to do with the Hall of Fame vote. So, like, not totally aligned there, but I get it. We get what they were doing. We get what they were doing.
Yeah. They were solving racism.
Or at least
Felt
interpersonal
it.
racism, maybe, right? But they couldn't deal with the systemic issues. So
Yeah.
maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's the real lesson that we take from there, right? Like interpersonal stuff matters, you know, be good to other people. However, you have to deal with the systems too. And Disney is or was
Not equipped.
not equipped and probably not interested, you know, not quite interested.
Not quite interested.
Um,
Speaking of interpersonal drama in this movie, there's quite a few racists in this movie, and I know
range
it's
of racists.
a
Like
range of racists.
range of racism.
And I know it's hard to isolate the top contenders, but we should at least try.
This is also making me think like maybe we're even underestimating the Titans because perhaps this is a movie that could be shown for like whiteness, people that want to interrogate their whiteness, right? Like actually you don't just have to be a card carrying Klansman to be a racist. Like if you've done any of these things, you have some racism you need to work through too, right? Like who would have thought? Maybe the Titans with the right tools and teachers could help some folks interrogate whiteness. Okay, who are contenders? Coach Yost in the beginning for sure. He's got all types of bias. His bias is just whoop, coming through big.
That face he makes. in the beginning
When
when
he
they're
interrupts the practice and he walks in and he's like, "This is my school. This is my team." Rude. Get a grip. That is not professional.
very unprofessional in the
Mm.
beginning and perhaps throughout.
Hmm.
Perhaps throughout.
Yeah.
And I will say, also, that you brought this character to the forefront for me, Coach Yost's little assistant Herb.
Yeah.
Potentially one of the most racist people to live.
Like legit. One of the most dangerous. Because you know he's just sitting there back in the cut stirring the pot. He's talking to the like Hall of Fame committee. The newspapers, like, you know, when he's starting to see Coach Yost trend to the side of right, he's like, "Hey, listen here, fellas. We're losing them. We're losing Yost. We gotta do something."
You're absolutely right. He was the architect of the whole Hall of Fame thing.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
He's the one who like told the refs to call the game like that.
Yes. Yep. Yep. His response to Coach Yost sending his daughter to Coach Boone's house, like not his kid, right? It says so much, right? He's just disgusted. How dare you let him play with the other kids, with those black girls? What are you
So
doing?
disgusting. The scene in the diner where he's like, "There comes a time when a man has to pick sides." Sir.
Excuse you? For kids hanging out? Are you okay? Clearly not, but
He was not okay.
get a grip. Get a grip.
He
Yeah.
was not okay.
Herb
Also,
is definitely up there.
yes, definitely up there. Also up there, Coach Yost's little daughter.
Yeah.
Very racist little girl.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, she got a couple of isms though too, right? Like she has some stuff with like gender,
Yes.
and that's like wow. Like when the players are fighting, and she's like, "You bunch of sissies," and it's like, "Why are you calling what a sissy?" Like what?
Why are you at football
What?
camp?
Why are you in football?
Why are you
Can't
here?
practice. She ain't, I guess it was summer, but it's like she ain't never go to school.
No.
She ain't never go to school. She ain't never go to. Didn't have her own activities. Like what is
She was
happening?
truant at school. She was wild. She also kicked that man in the beginning.
She
Do you-
really did. Yes, yes. She was throwing them cups like no manners, no couth.
Yes. She's not.
That's
she's
why
not
she
well
wanted
behaved.
school. She was not allowed at any other camps
Oh my
because like
God.
other adults were like, "Oh no, she cannot be around here. She
Do
don't
you think
listen to
that
nobody."
she got expelled and then Coach Yost was
Possibly.
like, "I'll homeschool her," but he just brought her to practice?
Yes,
Negligent.
I think that is quite likely. That's the new backstory. That's the real backstory of Coach
Yeah.
Yost's daughter. Other white women who were racist in the movie.
Oh,
Gary Bertill's girlfriend.
so you won't shake his hand? You won't shake Julius's hand? What's
He has
wrong
his
with
priorities messed up because he's hanging out with his teammates and won't go to the hill with you. Who knows what y'all are doing on that hill? Except
What?
we do know what y'all are doing on that hill.
you? They're burning crosses on the hill.
They're burning-
That's what they're doing.
They're getting fitted.
That car was going to the Klan meeting.
It was on its way.
It
That's
was
what
on
they're
its
doing
way.
up on the hill.
It's the Klan car.
And then they want us to believe that she's like she gets this or is worthy of this redemptive arc or whatever, right? So Gary has to like damn near die for her to be like, huh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are other things more important in life than skin color. She's so entitled and privileged. She comes onto the field. How does she get there?
How does she get there?
Interrupts Julius's like in-game, pre-game stuff and is like, I think we forgot. Like, what? Who are you?
That scene is
Who
so
are you?
crazy to me because she
It's
got
so
so
wild.
far on the field and no one stopped her.
Right. It's like clearly you still don't get it because here you are taking up all of this space.
All of
making
this
this moment about
space.
you.
Making it about
Okay.
you, shaking his hand. I mean, shout out to Julius in that moment because, like, it's like, I think they weren't even dating at that point.
No, she broke up with him because he wouldn't go
Yeah.
to the hill.
He wouldn't go to the Klan meeting. And so,
She prepared to spin the block?
it's wild. She's probably dating Ray in that scene.
Probably. Oh, definitely.
Do you think they
Her
got
and Ray-
together?
Absolutely. Her and Ray had also always had a flirtatious relationship. Like if there's a Remember the Titans prequel, we come to find out that like her and Ray had always had some like inappropriate interactions for a bestie and a girlfriend. Guaranteed.
That is
Guaranteed.
absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
1,000%.
We'll just believe it. That brings us to Ray the racist.
Oh, Ray.
we've already talked about his journey. So they're like from casual Klansmen probably, or like in training to I'm gonna be the head knight. I'm leading the
The head,
call,
the
whatever they call
grandmaster
it, the grandmaster
of the clan, Ray,
Right.
the racist. I mean, it's so crazy because he has so many uncouth moments
So many. You
in
do have
this
a daddy,
world.
right? He does
Unreal.
have a job, right? How did he not get punched in the face?
He's lucky. Was he paired with Rev in that scene, or was it Petey?
I can't remember. I think it might have been. Maybe it was Petey. I can't. I need to remember. I
It's
should remember that. But
either
it's
one
so
of them
unhinged.
is a very peace. He's lucky he wasn't paired with Julius. I feel like
Okay,
Julius,
Julius for sure would have knocked him out. Julius, because Julius and Gary get in the fight over the
the poster,
Olympics poster,
yeah.
right? And another great Julius line. Well, then you better be like Superman and see right through it. It's not phenomenal. He said, "I don't know what you're gonna do, but you figure it out. Good luck." Oh my goodness. Things I
So
want to be able to say in my life, which is also probably why my partner is like, you can't watch this movie because then he becomes the person that I'm saying it to about something that's completely irrelevant. He'll be like, hey, excuse me, can you move that? And I'm like, nope, you better see your way right through it, sir. Very uncalled for. But I just have a desire to quote Julius Campbell.
it's
all the
such a
time.
quotable movie. It's
It
such
really, really
a
is.
quotable movie. It's so good. Well, I think
It
Ray the
really is.
Racist is definitely, top 2 most racist people in this movie, and not 2, maybe 2
He's definitely never.
to
He's
Herb.
like, yeah, they might, maybe they go back and forth, but they up there. They up there. I think a close third will just we gotta acknowledge Alan's daddy because he was unhinged. First of all, we all are watching your son get beat. He's getting beat, and you are just yelling obscenities in the middle of the football game. You tell a child to shut up, and then you boss like burst into the office and start yelling at the black man who
Oh my
everybody at this point
god.
knows is not running the defense. So direct your anger
His
appropriately, like unhinged.
his monologue when he goes into the office to yell at the coaches is wild.
Right, right.
Wild. I'm
It's
like,
just
oh wow.
take a deep breath. You need some water? You need some water. Like he's definitely up there. And it's the historian in me, but we cannot understate. We have to try to just really make clear the white parents at T.C. Williams, league of their own, because white segregation is our parents in Virginia, probably up there in Boston too, have just gotten like a really quiet narrative history, like, oh yeah, the parents were upset. No, y'all were racist and aggressive, and a lot of them are still alive, and I just feel like they gotta hold that. That's all.
It's
That's
yeah.
all.
That scene when they're at the game and like the bleachers are segregated and all the white
Yes.
parents are like glaring at the black parents. I'm like, wow.
Right. Not okay. Get a grip.
Get a grip. Get
Mm-hmm.
a grip.
Anybody else that you want to put, if not in contention, like, or maybe they're in contention, but we need to acknowledge their racism.
We gotta acknowledge that Hall of Fame guy. I don't even know the character's name. The Hall of Fame guy who told Yost to blow the game.
Yes. We'll take it from here. You just lost yourself the Hall of Fame.
Take it from here.
Yeah, representing all the like people that make up the systems, right? Yeah, they real nasty, real
Real
nefarious.
nasty. I was watching the movie yesterday, and Eric was like, who's more racist than that guy? So the scene where he goes up to Yost at the end of the game after Yost has like told the ref to call it fairly and the Titans win, and he's like, Coach,
I'll go to the papers.
Yeah.
I might go down with you, but I'll see every one of you.
every last one of you. It's so good. Great
It's really
Coach
good.
Yost scene.
Yes.
So then after, when the Hall of Fame guy goes up to Coach Yost, he's like, you just lost the Hall of Fame. And then there's like that other guy who's like seething and he's like looking at him. That guy's really racist too.
He's really racist.
Who
Absolutely.
is that guy?
Absolutely. He's like, I ain't even gonna speak on it. Do you know how like the energy you have to do to
Yes!
convey that kind of like hate and racism with no words? That's deep seated. That's multi-generational racism. You got it honest.
He's like a racism backup singer,
Yes,
But just with his
yes.
like eye, like his blower. Like, it's crazy.
Agreed.
Oh, shout
for
out
sure.
to that guy. Really not good.
Not good at all. That also reminds me of the banana coach, the one that's like, I never see fit. He starts
Oh
with the
my
press
God.
conference and it's like to help no monkeys or whatever, and then Coach Boone throws him the banana. Like, yeah, he was real bad.
He was real
He was the one
bad.
that also tried to like hurt the player, right? Or maybe
Yeah,
not, but hurt
maybe.
Rev.
I don't
Right.
know.
Real nasty.
Real
Really, really nasty.
nasty.
Really gross. Not Demure.
Not demure, these racists in this film.
Not at all. Not at
But,
all.
comically racist.
Hmm.
Comically so.
Hmm. A good how-to guide, how not to be a racist, right? You know how like they have all the books like that or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Here's some tips.
You
Don't
know
call black
what's
people monkeys.
you know what's crazy is like that guy was like not even the most racist person in the movie. Like when that
That's
is
so
like
true.
you're like top 10 but like
Uh-huh.
not in the top 9, like
Not-
that's crazy. Oh my
Oh my
God. Who
goodness.
are these
Yeah,
writers
who
at
would not?
Disney?
They were not well. Ooh, oh my goodness. Other things, other choices that the writers made, like we have to talk about some moments that
Oh,
they just kind of fit into the film, allegedly for the flow, but they're really out of pocket. Like
yes.
when they're going to training camp and Gary and Ray go to the coach with their ideas and like, how they're gonna run or whatever. And Coach Boone says, like, I'm your daddy now. Say I'm your daddy now. That's unhinged. Especially when we know that like Gary's actual father
Doesn't
has
have a
died.
father? Oh my God.
Can you imagine somebody saying that to a kid? Like it's the student now.
And everybody is watching.
Everybody.
That was wild. And then he just continued on with his life. I'm like, excuse me.
What was the point of that? Because he really could have just been like, Gary, Ray, I am the coach of this team. You do not get to speak to me this way,
That's
right?
all.
But they're like, I'm your daddy.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy is crazy. It's really, really crazy.
It's really crazy.
We already mentioned it, but also like Ray telling Petey like you
Oh.
do have a daddy, right? So basically, all the time daddies come up in this,
Yes,
this movie
okay.
are out of pocket.
Listen, to the writers of this film, why are you so
Do you have
obsessed?
daddy
Do you
issues?
have daddy issues? Because you're certainly giving all of these men daddy issues.
Big time daddy issues. Oh my goodness.
Another
Okay.
moment that is super out of pocket is when Sunshine is dropped off at football camp and Gary says, "Hey fellas, look at that fruitcake."
Like for
Hello?
what? Because of his hair? His hair is long, but you're for no reason. Why are you even worried about who's pulling up? Like, why would you do that, Gary? Why are you saying anything, let alone calling him a fruitcake?
It was such a random, unnecessary moment.
Unnecessary,
Unnecessary.
I guess it's supposed to be homophobic, like shade slur, but like what? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
And
And like, why
I
did they make him
mean-
cut his hair? Also related to like what?
They do. They do make him cut his hair. And then later, Sunshine actually kisses Gary Bertier on the mouth against his will.
Right, no consent.
No consent.
Also, why is that a get back? Like, it's really weird. It's very out of pocket. I don't even know what the messages could be. Don't
not
call
good.
somebody a fruitcake or they'll kiss you. Like, what?
It was really strange because it came in the context of like when they were doing the Your Mama jokes. And it's like that is not a logical next step. That was
Right.
not a lot. That didn't make any sense.
Right.
And then they just like moved past it. I'm like,
And I'm like, maybe these really were the signs of the time, right? Or like the beliefs of the time. If you were long hair from California and did yoga as a man, then you were gay. But I was just like, even as a 10-year-old, I remember watching that and being like, but why are they assuming that he's
He's
gay?
gay.
Like, I don't get the connections that they're making. It feels like these are a lot of reaches. There are some leaps being made. I don't understand.
listen, we know that Disney can depict a bisexual king, aka
We know
Shane.
it.
We
Shout
know.
out to him.
And this was not their best showing if they were trying to
It
do
really
that.
wasn't. It wasn't. Other Sunshine moments when he's not listening to his black teammates and they're like, nah, we're not going in there. And he's like, no, it's different. It's fine. You're with me. Like the times have changed. My dad's in the military. It's fine. And they go in and it does not go well. The restaurant owner is, I have the right to refuse service and all of that
We're
nonsense.
full tonight, boys.
Right. Like, that was
Ew.
bad. That was bad.
That was bad. I hated that for Sunshine.
But you know what? I think they needed that because they had given us all of these moments of like racism is solved. So they just wanted us to remember, well, not quite yet. We got a couple more.
Couple more people.
We have to, remedy some ills that we need to heal.
We haven't hit the
For
restaurants yet. It's next on the list.
Okay, that reminds me, and I don't even know if it was a true quote, but it always circulates during Black History Month where they allegedly one of the like student nonviolent protesters who sat in at various restaurants, he like eventually gets served or talks about getting served later and eating some like really bland
Yes, I've
potato
seen
salad.
this.
And he's like, we did all of that for this. This tastes terrible. Again, I don't know if it's true or what the circumstances around the actual quote are, but that's what it reminds me of too. Like,
So funny. I've seen that. It's really funny.
When I was finally served at that counter, I thought it was by far one of the lousiest meals I ever had, and asked myself the question, is this what I put my life on the line for?
Another out-of-pocket moment I love is when after those kids throw the brick through Coach Boone's window and he goes and gets his shotgun and like coughs. What?
I love that. Locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded, and it's made even wilder by the fact that the actual man, Coach Boone, didn't own a gun. They put that in there.
Just
Why?
Why? Why? I know a couple of people who find that whole scene that's supposed to be really like serious, dramatic, and scary, very, very funny. Like can't help but watch because the kids are just like they're there watching, playing the dolls, watching the football film, and then out of nowhere it's just Coach Q. Like what? It is really, really ridiculous. Like why would they do that? Why would they have it in the movie like that? Like I don't know.
Oh, these racists.
That is an out-of-pocket moment, and for a number of reasons, like historical inaccuracy, apparently, and
Yes.
just why are you just yelling things in the middle of the Disney film?
A quote that is just always running through my head is during one of the football games when Alan's dad is watching Coach Yost take Alan out of the game, and he stands up and he's like, Yost, don't you take out my son. And then Yost's little daughter goes, he's getting beat like he stole something, Mr. Mosley.
That's all, sir. Shut up, girl.
Shut up, girl. Wild dialogue.
That is really wild dialogue. That was really wild. Other in-game quotes when it's like in the playoffs later in the season, I think, and Coach Yost is like, I don't want them to get past the line of scrimmage. I don't want them to get another yard. We blitz all night. And then he's like, make them remember forever the night they played the Titans. I love that.
That is one of my all-time favorite quotes ever to exist.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to take every last one of you out. In a semi-related, when I was coaching, I think it was one of the middle school teams in the last couple of seasons, sometimes we had effort issues. Sometimes there were other things, like it was a matter of just skill and talent. But there was one game where they all just kept watching the other player just run layup after layup. And I was like, fine, if they're going to not even try to run back on defense, like all 5 of them will come out. And when I tell you they did not care, I was like, all right, I tried to get in my Coach Yost moment, like all of you are coming out. If you're too tired, you don't want to run, everybody out. They were like, all right, cool. We don't want to be out there. I was like, yep, okay. I don't quite have Coach Yost motivating ability.
You're like, okay, yeah.
Other lines. Well, I already said for our episode 1 listeners, shout out to you. You already know that attitude reflects leadership. Captain is a daily saying in my mind, and if not my house, as well as honesty ain't too high up on you people priority list. Love that. Definitely getting a lot of brain space right now when what's happening in the political sphere. Like y'all are not being honest. when they're trying to make the daughters hang out, and she's like, "I just did my nails."
Oh
I
my
love
God,
that
when she throws the basketball and she's like,
I just
I
did my nails.
love that.
I do. That comes up in my house often when I've done my nails and my partner asks me to do something. I'm like, I just did my nails. I can't. I'm unequipped. I am off. I'm not available for this foreseeable future. And then I do love the last like play when it's like, what is it? Fake 22 blast with a backside George reverse.
Oh my God, yes.
Like your life depends on it. I love that one too.
It's so good. It's so good because I don't know anything about football. I don't know
But you
anything,
know it's a big play.
but I know it's a big play. Like the way that they tell the story, I'm like, I'm in it. I'm in it. And I often feel like in sports movies, I like get lost. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But this movie, I'm like, I care so deeply about football.
They make you, there's just enough of the football mechanics, like talking about fumbling and protecting the ball and Julius's prowess as like a future All-American that you're like, okay, I understand enough of the game,
right?
But it's not too distracting for sure.
It's so good. It's so good. Like that quote we were talking about, you blitz all night. I don't know any of the football terms in that quote, and it lives rent free in my head.
You know that it's intense.
I
and
know that
it's
intense.
Energy, and they're like, foot to the gas, right?
To the gas. If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you.
The stakes are high. That's the message that's communicated. The stakes are high.
So good. Oh my God.
For sure. As good as it is, it does leave us with like several questions though. And we've talked about them a little bit, and probably every time we talk about this movie. What are some of our unanswered questions?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about a couple of them already. One of them that you had that I actually think is such a good question. How was the cheerleader integration so peaceful?
I need to know, did we see the cheerleaders over on the side throughout the season cheering? They didn't have any issues with
no issues
blending their two teams?
They're fine. They're standing side by side doing the same chant.
I don't believe it. The same white girls and white women and young white women that are represented by Coach Yost's daughter, I can't remember her name right now, and Gary Bertier's girlfriend. None of that energy is on the cheerleading squad.
None of it.
I doubt it. Mm-mm.
We need an accompaniment film where it's like Bring It On, but it's like specifically Remember the Titans. And it's about the cheerleader integration. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm into it. Yes, I'm into it. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. That'd be so good. That would be so good. I feel like there had to be questions about rhythm, about the chants they were doing,
1,000%, right?
There just had to be questions is that what we're doing?
Wasn't Gary's little girlfriend, wasn't she a cheerleader? Or she was too busy with the clan?
We don't know, because she might have been too busy with the clan, but because she had access everywhere all the time, it's hard to know. But I feel like maybe...
She wasn't dressed for the game, though, when she went to shake Julius's hand. So maybe she wasn't a cheerleader.
Or maybe she got off the squad. Because her other cheerleaders were other white cheerleaders were ready to integrate. She was no. She probably dropped somebody. When they do the little pyramids, they probably had her at the bottom, and she probably dropped somebody.
Just
they were like, bro, you
Petey,
can't.
Just like Rev. Ray didn't protect Rev, and he broke his wrist.
Right. And they were like, she can't be out here. She's dangerous.
That's 1,000% what happened.
100%. Yeah, I'm with you.
That's definitely what happened. It was so peaceful because they kicked her off the squad. We have the answer now.
That's it. She was the problem once they got rid of her. Sometimes you just gotta cut a man loose. As Gary said, you just gotta cut
Another great quote.
Just gotta cut a man loose. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's also where were the women generally in the movie? That's the extra context that we need. Where were the other women in the school, teachers, parents on both sides, all of this? Where were the women?
Yeah, there were very few women in this film.
Mm-hmm. What other questions have you always wondered?
Why did the Titans look like they were 30? Because
the actors were.
The actors were. I did look this up. Wood Harris actually was 30 when he played Julius Campbell. Looks great.
Makes sense. Beautiful man.
But the other actors were in their mid-20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Denzel, I think, was in his mid-40s when he filmed this. But it does make me laugh because in the final scene when they're all like at the funeral and like they're panning, and it's like they can't make the black actors look older because like that's just like how they look.
Right.
And so they
they,
put
like,
mustaches
have, like,
on.
random mustaches on. Trying to age them up, and they're like wearing wedding rings and stuff, so we're supposed to know that now they're older. And
Time
like,
has
okay.
passed. Like,
It's like, we don't quite believe you. They have hair grown out too, and I was like, actually, I think it's the opposite.
yeah.
You don't get older and get more hair. I think that's rare.
I was like, y'all really didn't try very hard, but that's okay.
That's very
They
funny.
really did. I was like, these do not look like teenagers. But I feel like that, like the early 2000s era was the era of like actors in their like mid to late 20s playing like younger. Like way
Right. And
younger.
then all of us who were actually teenagers being like, why don't I look like that? Like, why are we not fully developed? And it's like, because they've gone through puberty eons ago.
Decades
They should have came
ago.
with a disclaimer. These are not actual teenagers. No teenagers will look like this.
It's like the opposite of Euphoria, right? Where like you
Yes.
watch it and you're like, I hope these actors are not actual teenagers because
Please,
like,
right.
bad things are happening. You know,
Like, no, the teenage brain at any point should not be subjected
Exposed
to
to
this kind of,
this.
like, exposed to this, because
Yeah.
even in the fictional world, it's too
Right.
much. It's too
Maybe
much.
we should go back to that. Okay, we don't.
Maybe.
Let's just have
A
people
little
who
bit.
are older. Like, let's not put young people through unnecessary trauma.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Other questions that I've had. We talked about Gettysburg. How did they get there? Where were the other chaperones? Like, why would parents let them do this? But Gary's mom,
Okay,
shouldn't she have been more upset
Listen.
after the accident?
she. Like, that scene is wild, right? Because Julius is, like, so upset. He's, like, shaking, right? And Gary's mom is like, listen, Julius. I'm like, not a tear upon your face?
Right.
Your son just got in a wild accident. And he's
now
like,
paralyzed.
Paralyzed. Oh, my gosh.
And all you're doing is telling this young black boy, well, you've got to step up. My son needs to hear strength from you. Like, you're not even going to console him a little bit. That's why he didn't want you in the room.
Yeah.
Frankly.
I also think it's a little messed up that Gary's mom went to the game instead of, like, sitting at the
Gary
game.
didn't want her in there.
That's
Gary
true.
said, you go to the game. You go.
He threw his shoe at that nurse, and I think that...
Get out of here.
Why are you going to throw your shoe at her?
I'm trying to make sure you're okay. I have got to check your vitals, Gary. I don't care that the game is on.
You are screaming bloody murder in the intensive care unit. Like, please.
Right. You've got to calm down.
Unwell. Carrie.
Very much so. Very much so. That's funny. I still love this movie. And to this day, speaking of Gary, I can't watch Gary's accident.
I always fast forward it. I get so
I
upset.
have to fast forward it or I leave. It's too much. It's too sad. It's
so
too scary.
sad. I know. It's
We just wanted to celebrate.
I know. It's so sad because, yeah, he goes up to Julius. He's like, come on, man. Let's get out of here. Let's go paint the town.
Yeah. And Julius is like, nah, I gotta hang with my girl. And then he feels guilt. He has survivor's guilt, I guess. He's like, should have been with you. No.
I will say, good for Julius for protecting time with his girl. We love to see that.
Thank you. One of the few women we don't hear from
Yeah.
her, but we do see her.
We don't hear from her. But we do see her.
You know who didn't feel guilty? Ray. We ain't never hear anything from Ray. Ray was like, that's what he gets. Ray might have been driving the truck.
I know. I was like, do we think that Ray sent the truck? Like,
Oh my God. Possibly. Very, quite like. Oh my goodness. Okay. As we start to wrap up, questions about how we see ourselves in the movie. Which of the Titans would have been your high school boyfriend?
okay, I have
It can be real or imagined. Like,
I have
You don't
two.
have to just do high school you. Uh-huh.
I have two. I would have loved to date Sunshine. You know, I love a
I can
bisexual
see
kid.
it.
You
I
know,
can
from
see
California.
Yeah.
He does his little yoga in the yard. I think I would have loved Sunshine as a teenager. And then also Petey, because he's very dramatic, and I love the drama. Listen, Petey's always a step away from crashing out.
Step away.
A whisper. Okay.
Just needs a mere suggestion that he should.
Suggestion, and he's gone.
Yeah, that's very true. I love that. For me, it's no secret. It's no surprise. Julius Campbell.
Of course.
Julius Campbell. Like, I feel like I probably was comparing the people that I did go to high school with, and I was like, ugh, they ain't no Julius, they are not no Wood Harris, which is unfair because they're 30. But yeah, Julius for me. I'm trying to think, would there have been a backup? Like, I don't know. I think I would have been friends with the Rev, right? Like, he's good people. I could see us in classes together, that kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like I would have been all in on Julius. All in.
Speaking of Petey, my boyfriend, biggest crash out in the movie. A lot of crash outs in this movie.
Petey did have several crash outs, from when he fumbled the ball on offense to getting sad or like not being with the team because he was like, they're calling all the fouls on me. He had several crash outs. Let me see. Ray getting cut from the team.
Oh, crash.
Crash out. Crash and burn. Definitely.
Also, Gary and Ray trying to confront Coach Boone and crashing out.
That was humbling.
That's a crash
that
out.
Had to be humbling. Yes, absolutely. What were they thinking? Why would they do that? Whatever would lead you to do that? Coach Yost trying to like talk to Coach Boone after the brick throwing incident.
Oh my
He's like,
God.
You need to put your pride back or whatever.
Your
crashed out.
sins.
Yes.
Endanger
Crashed
my
out.
family.
My daughter, right. Like, it's like, what? Yeah, no, that was a crash out.
That was a crash out.
Definitely a
What's
crash
wrong
out.
with you? Why would you
Get it
blame
good.
him for that? That's really
Wild.
no.
Wild behavior.
Wild behavior. So many crash outs in this movie.
So many. It's true. It's true. Oh, Louis, when he's talking about going to college, and he's like, I'm not going to college. I'm not smart like the Rev. I'm just low down white trash. He was crashing out in that moment.
That's
Like,
a crash out.
You just asked what your grades were, son. It's okay. Take a deep breath.
That was like a crash out for no reason. Like, are you good?
Unprovoked. That was like had been
Provoked.
sitting in his head for sure. Oh my goodness. Now I'm gonna be going. The next time I watch, I'm gonna be like ranking my crash outs, my favorite crash outs in the movie.
It's really good. I have.
Another
go
one.
ahead.
Just when they're at that like camp and practicing, they're all crashing out.
Oh my God.
When Coach Boone is like making them just do the little leg drills and they're like throwing up and vomiting, they all crashed out.
Oh, what is that scene? The one you can quote about him wanting water?
Oh, we are gonna do up downs till Blue is no longer tired and thirsty. Coach Boone has a little crash out in that moment too, because Coach Yost is like, hey, yo, bruh, like, you think you need to let him get a break a little bit? And he's like, waits another 30 seconds and then blows the whistle. They all crash out.
They did. They were all, the Titans were crashing out.
For sure.
Oh my God. So funny. So good. I have a question.
Okay.
In 2025, do you think that they should remake Remember the Titans either as a limited series or a multi-season show?
Multi-season show, probably not. Okay, here's the thing. They have to bring back Wood Harris, but Wood Harris can't be the like player anymore, so I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like we are not in the space as a country, as a civilization, as a world to revisit this story right now. Like, I have serious concerns about the direction that it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on who's in the room, who's writing the story. But yeah, I feel like there'd be a few too many like white redemption arcs that I'm just not really interested in. Like, the movie is already too feel good for what it is, right? Like, this is not, like we talked about, did not solve racism. So I feel like whatever it would try to do now would either be super dark and like, ooh, too realistic, too honest, right? Or just too feel good. And it's like, no, thank you. We don't need to see Ray try to spin the block and figure it out. Ray just has to hold his choices, right? Like Ray just has to sit with it. So I don't know. That's a long way of saying I think no remake, but if I have to have one, then I'm thinking limited series. Like, let's get in and get out. Let's get in and get out real quick. No multiple seasons. What do you think?
I think we don't remake it at all.
Yeah.
I think that this movie in 2000 hits differently than it, being made in 2000 hits differently than it being made in 2025. I think you're right. I think that we have to wait for some better times. Maybe we could have remade it in like 2008.
Yes.
Barack Obama just got elected president. Everyone's feeling good, feeling optimistic.
Even 2012, like somewhere even there. I mean, even recently, like 2021, when there's like some reckonings, like, oh, we got some ugly stuff we got to deal with, right? But right here, right now, no. I mean, would they wouldn't even be able to say the word integration. I don't know which of the eyes they've like banned this.
Yeah. How do you remake Remember the Titans without that word?
Is somebody going to feel guilty thinking about segregation and Jim Crow?
Let me tell
Can't have anybody feel guilty.
Who didn't feel guilty are the racists in this movie. Unapologetic.
They did not. Unapologetic,
Not an ounce of guilt.
Right. Seem to be doing just fine. Not worried about their feelings.
They were further instantiated into their fringe belief systems.
Right.
While the rest of us were feeling great, feeling good.
Right, exactly.
I think let it be. Let it be.
Let's enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, I agree. No remakes. We don't want that. But Wood Harris, if you're out there, and if anybody out there knows Wood Harris, tell him I just appreciate his work. And we would love to have him on the pod.
Wood Harris, come on the pod.
For sure.
You gotta dream big,
Another poll idea is we should do like 3 quotes and let people vote on what's their favorite quote from the Titans. Yeah.
So good.
Good stuff.
So good.
Very good stuff.
Well, that's episode 7. Remember the
Titans.
We did
Thanks
it.
for tuning in.
I love it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you loved this episode, share it with your long distance bestie. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.